Extreme collective anxiety often creates a psychological vacuum. When a community faces a threat they cannot control, they look for something or someone to fight. They manufacture a tangible enemy to regain a sense of agency. For 3 months, the village of Ketpur suffered under a brutal drought. The agricultural economy collapsed, leaving the populace terrified and desperate as their livelihood turned to dust. This environment triggered the scapegoat mechanism. When a closed group faces unsustainable internal pressure, they subconsciously select an outlier to bear the blame. This redirection of stress provides a temporary, albeit false, sense of relief for the majority. Savitri, a solitary midwife who lived on the edge of the forest, was the perfect target. Her isolation and her intense devotion to the fierce goddess Kalika made her an easy figure for the village to misunderstand. Droughts and famines rarely destroy a community's social structure on their own. The true fracture begins when human panic takes hold and the search for a scapegoat turns neighbors into enemies. In the dead of night, a young woman named Rupa entered a grueling and difficult labor. Savitri spent hours attempting frantic medical interventions to save her, but Rupa's pulse eventually faded to nothing. The village, led by the Mukhya, immediately pivoted from grief to weaponized blame. They needed a reason for the death, and they found it in Savitri. Mob consensus has a terrifying ability to rewrite reality. Within minutes, Savitri's medicinal prayers were reimagined as dark chants, and her history of saving lives was erased by a new narrative of witchcraft. Logic was ignored. The mob accused Savitri of insulting the goddess and causing the drought. They burned her home to the ground, destroying her life's work and her supply of medicines in a single night of violence. By violently stripping Savitri of her home and her dignity, the village achieved a tragic irony. They created the exact evil they originally feared by pushing a healer into the darkness of exile. Savitri retreated to the ancient, ruined Kalika temple at the edge of the forest. In this forgotten space, she began a ritual born of her own trauma. Kala Jadoo, or black magic, is a practice defined by rigid folklore rules. It functions as a structured ritual, transforming the caster's raw emotional suffering into a directed force. The hex required physical anchors, an effigy, stolen hair, black thread, and a red bead, conduits for her rage. On its chest, she inscribed, Tera Suk Meri Pyas, meaning your happiness is my thirst. Buried beneath the temple roots, the curse incubated and grew. This ritual was not powered by an outside demon. Its energy came entirely from the unjustified suffering the village had inflicted upon an innocent woman. Back in Ketpur,